Coming up on LUTV News, St. Louis County issues a vaccine mandate for workers. Plus, a worker shortage leads to a pause in recycling. And many star gymnasts testify in the Senate Judiciary Committee hearing on the Larry Nassar investigation. Those stories and more ahead on LUTV News. Welcome to this edition of LUTV News. I'm Jonathan Camp. St. Louis County will now require county employees to get a COVID-19 vaccine. The vote was passed at a county council meeting Tuesday night despite strong opposition. Under the plan, employees would have to be either vaccinated or instead choose regular testing and wearing a mask. The bill's sponsor says the mandate does not apply to St. Louis County police officers or political appointees. County Executive Sam Page is expected to sign the bill on Wednesday. The bill does include religious exemptions. You may start to see more police downtown very soon. This as Mayor Tashara Jones announces a new initiative to combat violence in the area. The Downtown Engagement and Public Safety Initiative will increase the amount of police patrolling downtown on the weekends. The plan was brought together after recent disturbances at downtown bars and clubs, one of which was included a shooting at the Rain nightclub. The plan will also bring civic, business, and community leaders together on a weekly basis to discuss how to improve downtown. According to Public Safety Director Dan Isom, the plan will be in effect for the next 5 to 6 weeks, and it is viewed as only temporary. A St. Louis Blues prospect was robbed at gunpoint on Arch grounds on Monday night. The 20-year-old prospect was with a woman when the robbery took place. Both victims handed over their personal items. The suspect then ran off. The victims were not hurt, and police are investigating the incident. The name of the prospect has not yet been released. Holiday weekends and a worker shortage leads to a pause in recycling and to trash piling up around the city. The St. Louis Mayor's office says the holiday weekends have led to a high volume of trash, and the city is looking to fill the new positions to resume the services. The city is offering a $1,500 signing bonuses for new hires and a $500 referral bonus to existing employees who help find new employees. The pause in services began in July, and city officials don't expect things to restart until December. In the meantime, the city suggests people use the nearly 30 recycling drop-off locations in St. Louis. A federal judge blocks an attempt by the NFL to throw out the Rams lawsuit. Judge Christopher McGraw denied the NFL's motion for summary judgment on Monday. Judge McGraw found significant evidence that not only did the NFL violate their own relocation policies, but there was also evidence of fraud as well. It's looking more likely that people like Commissioner Roger Goodell and owner Stan Kroenke will be forced to testify in court. The case is set to go to trial in St. Louis in January 2022. Straight ahead on LUTV News, North Korea tests a missile capable of reaching Japan. U.S. state officials say North Korea has tested a new long-range cruise missile capable of hitting Japan. The test saw missiles traveling up to 930 miles. The U.S. military says the latest test posed threats to the international community, and neighboring Japan said it had significant concerns. The tests were carried out on Saturday and Sunday with the missiles hitting their targets before falling into North Korea's territorial waters. It is the country's first long-range cruise missile that could possibly carry a nuclear warhead. The United States bans North Korea from testing ballistic missiles, but not cruise missiles such as these. Global top-level officials from several countries are expected to meet this week to discuss North Korea's denuclearization process. The state of California votes to keep Governor Gavin Newsom in office. Petitioners say that Newsom is not fit to lead the state of California. Some say that the laws endorsed by Newsom concern foreign nationals rather than the state's own citizens. After the election results were announced, Newsom thanks his supporters.
And so I'm humbled and grateful to the millions and millions of Californians that exercise their fundamental right to vote and express themselves so overwhelmingly by rejecting the division, by rejecting the cynicism, by rejecting so much of the negativity that's defined our politics in this country over the course of so many years.
4 gymnasts testify in a Senate hearing on the handling of an investigation into former gymnastic doctor Larry Nassar. Simone Biles, Michaela Maroney, Aly Raisman, and Maggie Nichols say Nassar sexually abused them under the disguise of medical treatment. The athletes also called out the Federal Bureau of Investigation for conducting what they are calling a failed investigation into Nassar and former FBI agent Michael Langeman. The FBI says Langeman is the agent who failed to properly investigate the case back in 2015. FBI Director Christopher Wray says,
I want to be crystal clear. The actions and inaction of the FBI employees detailed in this report are totally unacceptable.
Other senators also weighed in on the situation, including Ted Cruz from Texas. Both the FBI and senators expressed their condolences and apologized for what had happened to them. The Department of Justice is seeking an emergency order to block Texas's ability to enforce its abortion law. The DOJ claims that the law, SB 8, breaks the 14th Amendment by not allowing women to exercise their constitutional rights. The DOJ says this relief is necessary to protect the constitutional rights of women in Texas and the sovereign interest of the United States in ensuring that its states respect the terms of the National Compact. It is also necessary to protect federal agencies, employees, and contractors whose lawful actions SB 8 purports to prohibit. The DOJ also says that the law violates the Supremacy Clause, where federal law overrides state law, along with if the order goes through, the law should not be enforced for the duration of the order, and for those who try should be reminded that they do not have the authority it once granted. Interstate 70 and southbound 270 will be shut down for the funeral of fallen Marine Jared Schmitz on Thursday. Starting at 2 p.m., state troopers will escort Schmitz from Bow Funeral Home in St. Charles. The escort will lead to Jefferson Barracks Cemetery, where Schmitz will be laid to rest. Drivers are asked to plan ahead and find an alternate route for Thursday afternoon.
Fall is just around the corner, but the summer heat is still trying to stay alive. We'll take a look at this week's forecast when we come back. You know fall is around the corner when it feels like fair weather, but you might want to be prepared for the cold weather as well this week. The sun is trying to pop out, but the clouds keep rolling in. Right now it's 78 degrees and partly cloudy, and the humidity is at 73%. A breeze will continue to flow through the southeast from 7 to 13 miles per hour. If you feel like walking the dog during the daytime on your break, then today is the perfect time to do it. The rain will follow through around midnight. The weather in St. Charles right now is 78 degrees. Across the bridge in St. Louis, it is 77, and in Maryland Heights, it's 78 degrees. And if we head over down the road to St. Peter's and O'Fallon, it's still trying to feel like summer, but it's still cloudy all around. The temperature right now is 80 degrees. On Monday, the high will be 86, and the low will drop back down to 70. Tuesday will be a wet one, with the high only being 75 and the low dropping to 57. Fall will kick in on Wednesday, and Thursday the sun will pop back out, but the temperature will stay in the low 70s, and the low will drop to 52 and mid 40s. Friday, summer will try to show its face one last time, with the high being at 81, but the fall will take the mic back and bring the temperature down to 50 degrees. For LUTV Weather, I'm Josh Robinson.
United Nations leaders recently met to discuss the current climate crisis and say that the Earth is on track to warm by nearly 40 degrees by the end of the century. President Biden was at the meeting and tried to reach an agreement to cut the greenhouse gas methane by 30% by 2030. At the meeting, the United Nations warned countries like India and China that if they did not submit more ambitious climate change plans, greenhouse emissions would increase by 16% by the end of the decade. Scientists at the meeting also linked the recent extreme weather events to the warming of the planet. The United Nations Climate Change Conference will be held next month in Scotland to continue the reports. Thousands are evacuating after a volcano in the Canary Islands erupted on Sunday after several earthquakes. The 19-foot-high lava flow is devastating communities of the island of La Palma. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez says the whole of Spain is with La Palma on Monday and that all resources will be sent to help affected residents. The highest magnitude recorded was a 4.2 on the Richter scale, and so far there have been no reported injuries or deaths.
Coming up on LUTV Sports, Lamar Jackson gets his first career win against the Chiefs. The Cardinals faced off against the San Diego Padres on Sunday afternoon. The Redbirds protected their wild-card lead as they won 8-7. The Cardinals would start the game with an impressive 5 runs in the first inning. This would be met with a steady comeback from the Padres that ultimately fell short. This is the Cardinals' 8th win in a row and their 10th win in 11 games. Blues general manager Doug Armstrong believes that right winger Vladimir Tarasenko could still be on the team opening day. Armstrong says that the market hasn't really materialized for the former All-Star. He says it's a difficult industry right now, and Vladdy hasn't played a lot of hockey in the last couple years. Tarasenko has been unhappy with Blues medical staff and his recent role on the team. It remains to be seen if he will be shipped off or time will heal this wound. In NFL news, the Baltimore Ravens defeated the Kansas City Chiefs 36-35 on Sunday Night Football. The highly anticipated annual matchup between quarterbacks Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson did not disappoint in the entertainment factor. The Chiefs had early control, but the Ravens rallied back late with an unstoppable run game and stellar defensive play. This marks the first time in his career that Jackson has defeated Mahomes' team in 4 matchups and the Ravens against the Chiefs since 2012. Lindenwood football did not disappoint on Saturday night against the Kentucky Wesleyan Panthers. The Lions showed out for the Family Day crowd, winning 56-34 in a game that saw them score 14 points in each quarter. Quarterback Cade Brister threw for 226 yards and rushed for 5 touchdowns, while running back Nash Sutherland ran in 2 touchdowns with 91 yards. Linebacker Drew Sears recorded 14 tackles and an interception in the Lions' dominant win. That's all for sports news. For LUTV News, I'm Christopher Rogers.
Major League Baseball is moving production of baseball bats out of the United States. Mikan has been making baseball helmets and bats for Major League Baseball in a small town outside of Minneapolis for the last 20 years. Now dozens of those jobs will be moving to China. MLB partner Rawlings is moving bat production to China as part of their exclusive partnership with Easton Diamond Sports. This move will eliminate nearly 150 jobs within the next 18 to 24 months. Jobs making batting helmets will stay in the country. Production will move to a distribution center in Washington, Missouri. Despite the majority of jobs leaving the area, Mikan is going to leave a sales team in Caledonia at this time. Former boxing champion Manny Pacquiao is running for president in the Philippines. Pacquiao is going up against current President Rodrigo Duterte. The former boxer and the president have had a strained relationship. Pacquiao has accused him of not cracking down hard enough on corruption in the country, among other things. Pacquiao says that he is ready to rise to the challenge of leadership and that it's time for the oppressed to win. That's it for this edition of LUTV News. I'm Jonathan Camp. Thanks for joining us.